The story of the 1948 Porsche 356 No.1 begins not with the car itself, but with Ferdinand Porsche, one of the most distinguished engineers in automotive history. Born in 1875 in Austria-Hungary, he demonstrated extraordinary technical aptitude even as a young man, assisting his father in the workshop and studying at technical schools. By the time he reached the 19th century, he was already working on electric vehicles and developing solutions we would today call hybrids. His career gained momentum at Austro-Daimler and later at Daimler-Benz, where he was responsible for the most advanced technical projects. The experience gained over decades laid the foundation for the car that, in 1948, launched the Porsche brand as a sports car manufacturer. Following his successes at Austro-Daimler and Daimler-Benz, Porsche progressed through successive stages of his career, eventually founding his own design office, Dr. Ing. H. Tedzi F. Porsche, GmbH, in 1931. His son, Ferry Porsche, worked alongside him and gradually assumed increasing responsibility. It was during this period that the design for the people's car, the Volkswagen Beetle, was conceived. While this design forever linked the Porsche name to the mass motorization of the Third Reich, it also provided a crucial technical foundation for future sports cars. The engine, suspension, and philosophy of the lightweight, rear-wheel drive car would soon find entirely new, significantly sportier applications. World War II brutally interrupted the development of civilian projects. After the war, Ferdinand Porsche was imprisoned in France on suspicion of collaborating with the German regime. At that time, the company, relocated to Gmünd, Austria, was headed by Ferry Porsche. It was then that a crucial decision was made. Since there was no sports car on the market that met his expectations, he had to build one himself. Ferry wasn't thinking about luxury or large-scale production. His goal was a lightweight, agile car that would offer pure driving pleasure. Thus, the idea for the Porsche No.1, the first car to bear the Porsche name, was born. The Roadster, known today as the Porsche 356 No.1, 356-001, or Roadster Gmünd, was completed in May of 1948 after less than a year of development. It was an exceptionally modest car, yet meticulously crafted in every detail. The body was designed by Erwin Komenda, co-designer of the Beetle silhouette, and the hand-forming of the aluminum panels was performed by Friedrich Weber, using only simple tools and wooden templates. The distinctive, frameless, split windshield gave the car a light and modern feel. Although it was considered merely a Beetle convertible, to the sarcastic, it actually represented a completely new level of quality in the world of post-war sports cars. The Porsche 356 No.1 was based largely on Volkswagen components, but these were meticulously modified. The chassis, suspension, gearbox, and drum brakes were all derived from the Beetle, but the key difference was the mid-engine layout. The four-cylinder air-cooled unit was positioned between the cabin and the rear axle, ensuring excellent balance. Interestingly, it was the only Porsche with a mid-engine in this form. All subsequent 356 models, as well as the 911, had the engine behind the rear axle. Additionally, the No.1 featured a tubular frame, while subsequent cars featured a plate frame and steel bodies. The base Volkswagen engine, with a displacement of 1.13 liters, developed just 25 HP, but it was significantly modified at Porsche. The cylinder stroke was increased, the compression ratio was raised, the valve train was improved, and two carburetors were installed. This increased power to at least 35 HP, resulting in very good performance, despite a weight of just 585 kilograms. A four-speed manual gearbox transferred drive to the rear wheels, and the simple design promoted reliability. While these figures may seem modest today, in 1948 the Porsche No.1 was a fast and remarkably agile car. The interior of the Porsche 356 No.1 was extremely simple, focused on function rather than luxury. The driver and passenger occupied small, lightweight seats, with only a tachometer and glove compartment in front of them. The speedometer was added later. There were map pockets in the doors, luggage and a fuel tank under the front hood, and a spare tire and battery in the rear. Every detail had its purpose, and the lack of unnecessary frills emphasized the car's sporty character. This foreshadowed the Porsche philosophy that, for decades, placed the driver at the center of attention. In May 1948, Ferry Porsche set off on its first test run from Gmünd to Zell am See. The car reached speeds of around 135–140 km/h, 84–87 mph, and suffered only one breakdown, a broken rear suspension arm, which was quickly repaired. Just 2 months later, the Porsche 356 No.1 was delivered to motoring journalists. Their opinions were surprisingly unanimous. This is what a modern sports car should look like: light, agile, precise to handle, and immensely enjoyable to drive. This was the moment when the Porsche brand began to build its legend. The success of the No.1 Roadster led to the development of the 356-2 prototype coupe, and before the end of the 1940s, production of the 356 began in Gmünd, using Volkswagen parts available after the war. A contract with VW soon enabled the company to return to Stuttgart and establish production in Zuffenhausen. In January 1951, Ferdinand Porsche died, not having lived to see his brand fully succeed, but his vision was already being realized by his son. The 356 became the financial and image-building foundation for Porsche for decades to come. The Porsche 356 No.1 was registered for road use on June 8, 1948, a date considered the symbolic birth of Porsche sports cars. Over the years, the car underwent numerous modifications and repairs, losing its original form, but its significance remains undeniable. Today, it rests in the Porsche Museum as a priceless exhibit. In 2018, to celebrate the brand's 70th anniversary, a faithful replica of the first 356 was built. The Porsche No.1 is not just a car. It is the material beginning of a philosophy that led to the creation of icons like the 911 and made Porsche one of the world's most important sports brands.